Dropshipping is a bit of old news for some, but after so many years, it still remains very sought after, and there's a reason for both. If you're looking to make your first $100 or maybe even $10,000 plus with dropshipping, then this video is for you. Dropshipping is pretty simple. Let me break it down for you. You pick a product, you sell it before you even own it, and you profit being the middleman. It is that simple. I can guarantee you that if you watch this video the whole way through and then just put in the actual reps over a long enough time horizon, you will see results with dropshipping. But what makes a good dropshipper compared to a bad one? Well, first, you need to understand that 95% of dropshipping stores fail. And so knowing that, you have to be different in some sort of way to have different results than 95% of the people trying out this lucrative business. And that starts with the product you are selling, which is going to be pillar one of this video. So what makes up one of these winning products? A few simple things like good profit margin, broad enough product to appeal to the masses, and more importantly, a product that solves a real problem in people's lives. Now, on top of that, probably one of the most, if not the most important key factor to a product is the timing of the product. This is what really determines a winning product. If you try to sell swim trunks in the winter, people aren't going to have a real itch to buy them. I sold these thermometers during COVID. I'll pop one up on the screen, and in the first 6 months of selling them, I made $1 million. But if I tried to sell them today, it just wouldn't work simply because the demand is not like it once was. It's not really there. There's also this little vanity aspect of dropshipping that you can tap into that is really profitable. This can be home decor, car decor, or just kind of any decor, something that doesn't really solve a problem, but it just looks cool and people just buy it. People love spending money on products that get the attention and validation of other humans simply because that's how we are wired. We always seek validation and compliments. I want you to just fully understand this topic though. Dropshipping is simple only if you pick a good product to sell to your audience. Now, for more content and specifically on product research, like how to go about it, I'll have a link below for a free course that I've already made. It goes over the basics for that. It's completely free to sign up, so I'll have a link below for that. Once you have all of that mastered, it is time for pillar 2. This is where marketing comes into play. Not only the type of ads you run, but the content itself. It's something where most people think they can half-ass it, but this is where the critical stuff takes place. Before you run paid ads, you need to master this, so what better way than me showing you just that? This is an example of a bad ad. So in the first few seconds, it's just a gross mosquito popping. It's kind of disgusting. He talks about like the issue with mosquitoes and how it basically negatively affects the environment, but scroll stoppers, they are good, I will say that. But what would be better is if they show like maybe a zapper zapping a mosquito and then you sell a zapper, because this specifically kind of grosses people out when they're watching this sort of stuff, and it can turn a lot of people off from buying the product. So this is a bad ad number 1. This ad caught my attention the other day, and it is what we call a good ad. It says take your back training to the next level, shows someone pulling up with these little hooks, and then it displays them. I believe there's some catchphrase right here where they say, yeah, you can add 15 kg to your lift instantly. So this is a good ad for a few reasons. Number 1, it shows the product being used in the first few seconds. That's what we always recommend when you guys are making video ads. Make sure they're showing off the product as fast as possible. This one gets right into it. So this is a good video ad for that exact reason. Now this is another good ad. You'll see similarities. It shows off the product already in use, and it said the shower head is disrupting the water supply industry, and then it just gets into benefits of the product instantly and constantly showing the product in use. This is good because again, you need to keep showing off the product, providing solutions to people's problems. But nonetheless, they're very good video ads because they show off a cool product and then they hit them with logical stuff in the video ad, and towards the end they sell them and say that they're designed to save on water consumption. They had a typo there. And then they'll say, get yours now while it's still on sale or something like that. So, all right, so now you know what makes a winning product and a good creative. Now let's get into the exact ad strategy side of things. First thing is the platform where you actually want to advertise your product. TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, Google, they all work, but for this instance, I am going to talk TikTok because it's been our bread and butter for the last year or two. When I started out with dropshipping, I was bouncing around from every ad platform. I started with Facebook ads, and then I tried to do Google ads, and then I found Instagram influencers. But if I would have just started with one and stayed with it, I probably would have been more successful. So for TikTok ads, we do stuff pretty simple. I take 5 to 10 of those creatives that we talked about, and I just put them in a CBO at $50 per day, and I'll run this for a day day or two to see if the product has any sort of potential. So within $50 to $100, I know if the product is going to be a good product or not, just based on a few key metrics. What I do is I analyze the cost per click, the click-through rates of your video ads, and the cost per purchase. If you're getting good metrics like sub 50-cent cost per click, but then everyone's coming to your website and no one is purchasing, that's a good sign that your product may be good, but it's probably a bad sign that your website is bad or your product pricing is bad, something on your Shopify store side of things. The third pillar is store structure. I spent the last hour or so compiling a list of websites that I think are really good and some that are kind of bad. So what I'm going to do is just go over them and show you the benefits of having a good website compared to a bad one. This first one is going to be this website. It is a bad one. The reason it is because it doesn't really show the product. I don't see a specific product. So this would work if you had a homepage to then kind of reel people into your website and then start showing off the product. So let's maybe see if they can earn the sense of security with their product pages. Let's just go here. This product page is not looking good either. The reason I say that is because it's very simple, which is good. However, these pictures look like he just pulled them from AliExpress. You have to understand, when you guys start dropshipping, you need videos and pictures of people holding the product in their hand. So if you're selling an iPhone, you need someone like this, like holding the phone, on the phone or something. People want to see the product in someone's hand. It's more tangible that way. It feels more alive that way. And maybe even not like in someone's hand, but just in a natural setting rather than in an edited setting that doesn't really look optimal. Now, this is an amazing website. It's called Chica Athletica. They sell different sorts of leggings and stuff. So the reason I say that it's good is because of the homepage. So you have holiday deals, start now, save 30 to 50% off. And then they go through all of these different products. And this store is doing, I believe, 7 figures per month. So keep that in mind. And they're just selling generic leggings that they're finding on AliExpress and different sort of shapewear stuff. So that is pretty much all they're doing. And then they have shoes, leggings, tops, a super simple setup, but it just feels a little bit more branded because they took time to build out the homepage. So let's go through and click through to one of these product pages. I want to see exactly how they have this page set up. And off the bat, as you guys can see, they have people wearing the product. That's what you want. Photos of people with the product in use. All right, this one is called the Easy Gadget. If this is your store, I'm sorry, but it's not good. So first things first, this coloring is off from your whole website. The domain is the Easy Gadget, and then your store's name is the Soaker. That logo is not good at all, and it's taking up more than half of your homepage when I landed on your website. And then this is huge as well, so you need to remove that. And off the bat, when I land, I can't even figure out what the product is, and for that reason, it's not a good website. I don't even need to go through more of it. This is a good website. It's called Hug Sleep. What do you think of when you hear Hug Sleep? You probably think something in regards to sleep, and their product does exactly that. It helps swaddle you, it helps hug you while you sleep, and so it has great congruency. The coloring is amazing, and the product photos, as you guys can see, everyone is demoing the product. Now, we need to talk about the fourth pillar and the final pillar. Everyone, if you're watching this, the moment you become successful, you'll probably come back to this video and watch it 10 times over because of the fact that it says real shit that I actually applied to my business that took me to the 7+ figure mark. I say this being the dude who was stuck below $500 per day in sales to then now being the person who can take a store from 0 to 10K per day in less than a week. This pillar doesn't really have a name, but let's call it the world domination pillar because that's the goal. Your goal is to take something that works at a low scale, optimize the business overall in every single aspect you can, and keeping yourself busy, that will take you to high heights. Firstly, you need to analyze what's working at a low scale. So you can start with your creatives. What we always are doing is when we're running paid ads, I just will look exactly what my ads are doing, which ones are giving me the best results. And this will in turn just help me out with then having new people film content that they can replicate from our current successful creatives. This is a smart way to go. The dumb way to go is to just kick your feet back at $500 per day in sales and start buying dumb shit. But the reason reason you go through creatives is because you have to understand they're going to eventually die out. Your ads are not always going to perform well, as you're gonna reach a max audience that's gonna see a video, and then they're gonna need to see a new video before they feel the need to purchase. So that's square one. Once you have creatives dialed in and you have new creatives coming in, this is where you can move on to step two. While additional creatives are getting made, what you want to do is just dial in your website with conversion rate optimization. This is where you can study a lot of the big brands like Oodie and other stores and just figure out what they are doing differently than you. Just make sure you guys are working on your website to increase average order value and increase conversion rate. Those two things, if you can increase those numbers, they will make you an insane amount of money. So while that content's all getting made before you ramp up ad spend to the moon, work on conversion rate optimization by split testing landing pages, split testing product pricing, maybe your actual product photos and titles. That way you can optimize your website to its fullest potential and make the most amount of money. Now, once that is all dialed in, once you have new content in, you are ready to scale. This is what I like to personally do. I set budgets per store, and so let's say I give myself $5,000 to run a dropshipping store successfully. Now that's a high budget, but let's just say you have 1,000, you start out with that 1,000 and it turns into $3,000, and now you have $2 extra thousand in your hands. Most people would start to spend the money. I recommend you double down on what is working. So what I mean by that is spend more money on paid ads. The reason you do this is to roll the money into the business, grow it more, and make tons of more money. That way you're not looking at a business just as a means to an end, to where you can take money out and spend it on dumb stuff. So that's step three. That's where you start to scale up your ads on one platform and just try to go absolutely insane. Once you do all of that, this is where you either learn a new ad platform or you just find an agency that can run ads for you. What I personally do once TikTok is printing, like doing maybe 10 to 30K a day, we'll get onto Snapchat, we'll get onto Google, and sometimes Facebook and Instagram, but mainly those three can get us to 50 to 100K per day pretty consistently. Now, here's the reason this is such an important aspect of the business. You want to essentially stalk the customer throughout their whole social media scrolling, consuming content era. The reason is because I like to imagine this sort of thing as an apple tree. So you have this apple tree growing and it's giving you such amazing fruit on one side of your business, right? And you're spending all of the money, you're giving it life, right? And you only see a small part of it because you have this wall that's blocking you, but there's enough apples right there for you to eat comfortably, whatever. Maybe your family still would like more apples than they have. I look at these other platforms as like unlocking new sides of apple trees that you didn't even know existed, but more specifically, there's other people stealing these apples off of your tree that you don't even know about. So I used to run a store, and I won't say what it is, but I used to sell a product and I was doing really well with it, and someone knew that, and so then they went on Google and they started running ads for my exact brand name, and they were selling the same product, and then people started to make like 20 to 50 grand a month just off of my brand name. So don't let this be you guys. Once something is working, scale onto Google, scale onto Snapchat, stalk your customer everywhere. That way they will see you everywhere. The final stage of this chapter, of this pillar, and of this whole video is going to be niche expansion. So this is where you go from just a one product store, you grow apples, to now you're growing apples, peaches, mangoes, whatever the F you want in the fruit niche. The reason I say fruit is because it's easy to talk about, but let's say you're selling desks. Something else that you could sell would be maybe a desk lamp, maybe a chair, something else to add to your customer. This is so important because eventually a lot of people will buy your product and your cost per acquisition will go up tremendously. And so you'll have this existing customer list that you will now realize is extremely valuable, but you only have one product to sell them. Honestly, you could even do just an improved version of V1 of the product. You can do V2, V3. Look at Apple, they do that shit like every year. This can lead you to doubling your average order value pretty quickly, and it's not a whole lot of work. Now, I know I didn't get crazy in depth on everything. I just wanted to make a video so that way you could watch it and make sure you understand everything that goes into dropshipping on a general level, simply because I've already made those very in-depth videos. So if you need to watch one, go to my channel. I have a ton of them, but I hope you guys got value from this video. Take action on everything that I just said. And if you want more information on the free course, I will have a link below like I had mentioned, but other than that, I will see you in the next video.